Hello, everyone. JDev has returned once again to give you exactly what you want, which of course would be more of me giving you guys and gals exactly what you requested, and that would be a countdown video, specifically counting down my least favorite to favorite Star Wars movies. I will do that for all of you. Keep in mind, I do not consider myself a Star Wars fanatic. I casually watch the movies. I've seen all the major 11 movies that have been released, and I haven't even seen all of them more than once. There's been a couple of them that I've only seen one time, and that's it. Such as the original, the prequels. I'm not a big fan of the prequels. I hate prequels. It's just my thoughts. So, if you disagree with any of my choices, especially my favorite Star Wars movie, well, you're entitled to do that. Just keep in mind, I just go by what I like the most. And if you're a fan of Star Wars and you like this video, it'd be great if you could like the video, share it, favorite if you want to, subscribe to the channel for a lot of Dexter Walking Dead, UFC, and random Star Wars videos. Click the notifications bell and leave a comment telling me your order of all these movies. That would be cool. I think that would be a good idea. So do that if you could. It helps the channel out, and I'll definitely be appreciative of it. So, counting down in order, and there might be spoilers, especially for the new Star Wars movie that just came out. Obviously, I want to capitalize on all the hoopla of that. So, beware of spoilers, especially for when I talk about Rise of Skywalker. So, starting off the list, coming in as my least favorite Star Wars movie, and this is a real snooze fest in my opinion, would be Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Not much there. The lightsaber scene was cool, but other than that, not much there. Number 10 on my list, Solo, A Star Wars Story. That was very close to being number 11, but I just remember Episode 2 being so boring. And I'm a big fan of Han Solo's character, but I missed Harrison Ford a lot, and I thought he should have been in it somehow, some way, like a future self thing. But nonetheless, Solo number 10, that needed some work. Number 9, the first prequel, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I liked a lot of things about that movie, but then there were some things I didn't like. Misa, Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, enough said. Number 8. Now, this is a tough one because a lot of people really like this movie, and I'm indifferent. Again, I'm not a huge Star Wars fanatic, but I liked it. But again, I only watched it one time, bought it, and didn't watch it when I bought it. So that would be Star Wars, or Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. It was an okay movie, but I didn't think there was a lot of big things aside from the end when Darth Vader shows up. Number 7 on the list, and this a lot of people would disagree and think this should have been lower on the list, and that would be Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. There were a lot of things I liked about that movie, and then there were some things I absolutely hated about that movie. So I kind of put it in the middle, and I think that's a good spot for it. I didn't leave the theater super unhappy, but I know some people didn't like it, and I understand, but I hated other Star Wars movies more than that, so that's my opinion. Number 6, we have Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. That was a very dark movie, and maybe should have been one more spot ahead on the list, but I'm just going by memory. And again, it's another movie where I've only watched that one time, but I actually remember a fair bit of that movie, surprisingly enough. I remember it being slow and then the craziness at the end here. So the Revenge of the Sith, number 6. Number 5 on the list, the newest one, Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. I enjoyed the movie. I thought there were some things, obviously, continuity-wise, that didn't make any sense, but for the most part, I really enjoyed the movie. Spoiler alert, I really enjoyed the cameo by Harrison Ford in the movie, which apparently wasn't even going to be him, but then Carrie Fisher died, so they had to have Harrison Ford come back. But it made it great. I wish Luke would have been alive in the movie and not just a ghost. But with that said, I enjoyed a lot about the movie. I like kind of what they tried to do, bringing Palpatine back and having Rey be a Palpatine. And then at the end, though, her being a Skywalker. I wish she would have just said Rey Palpatine. But other than that, and Lando back, that was cool. I actually enjoyed the movie. I was satisfied, and that's what I'm going to say about Rise of Skywalker. Number 4 on the list, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. It was Star Wars, The New Hope all over again. But it was just great to see all these characters come back and essentially have the same movie with a little, changes here and there. But I really enjoyed that, especially to cheer each character that showed up on screen. When they show the Millennium Falcon, when they show Han and Chewie, when they show C-3PO and Princess Leia and R2-D2, and then finally at the end when Luke Skywalker finally shows up, and nobody cheered for him because it took so long for him to show up. That was my only gripe about Force Awakens, that it took so long for Luke to show up and he didn't even say anything. I don't mind Han dying because I think Harrison Ford wanted to be done with the franchise, and that was the way to do it. I thought his story was really good in the movie, and the introduction of Finn and all the new characters, Rey, weren't bad. So Force Awakens, number 4. Number 3, the one that started it all, even though it's technically not the first one in the series anymore, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Great movie, great characters, good dynamic between the characters. Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, C-3PO, and R2-D2. Vader was menacing, and then you had Obi-Wan Kenobi. I liked A New Hope. It was good, but it's only 3 on the list. Number 2, which will let you know what number 1 is, and a lot of people would switch these around and probably actually have what my number 1 is, maybe as low as 5, some of you. But my second favorite Star Wars movie is Star Wars Episode number 5, The Empire Strikes Back. I know, like I said, I know a lot of you would push this number 1. And it was a good movie. It was very dark. I just didn't find it that entertaining. There were some parts of the movie that were really boring. And again, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fanatic. I've seen all the movies, some of them only one time. But this one, it's good, but I just like my number 1 a lot better. So, yes, I know you guys are going to give me some hate for that, but my favorite Star Wars movie coming in at number 1, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. I really loved Return of the Jedi. I thought it was the best Star Wars movie by far. Like, this one is definitely a 10 out of a 10 in my opinion. I just enjoyed the whole movie, the whole opening, opening act of the movie with, Luke going to Jabba the Hutt's place and them on the ships, and Jabba, this is your last chance, and giving R2 the signal, and Han can't see, and Lando. I loved that opening of the movie. And then the stuff with Luke and the Yoda and Luke and Leia and Luke and Vader, and then Vader finding some good in his system, or Anakin at the end and throwing the Emperor down, and we thought he was dead, but apparently he's not. So I really enjoyed Return of the Jedi. I like the whole ending thing where they had all the old, Ben, Yoda, and Anakin, whether it be old Anakin or Hayden Christensen Anakin, depending on which copy you have. But there's my list. So I know a lot of you are going to argue, but let's just recap it, just in case you weren't paying attention. Number 11, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Number 10, Solo, A Star Wars Story. Number 9, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Number 8, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Number 7, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Number 6, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Number 5, Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. Number 4, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Number 3, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Number 3, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Star Wars Episode 2, number 2, Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. And, of course, number 1, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So, do your due diligence. Leave a comment. Give me your order. Tell me why I'm crazy for not putting Empire Strikes Back number 1, or Star Wars A New Hope, or some of you would even say Revenge of the Sith, which I can't agree with that at all. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this insight. I just want to give you guys something different besides the Dexter craziness that I've been on lately. So leave a comment. I would appreciate it. And, of course, I'll be back again soon with another. Peace.